The worship of God is important for us as individuals, but also as a church. And God has commanded us to gather together and worship Him. The structure of our worship is something that maybe you haven't really ever thought about, but it's a really helpful thing to have a way in which you are moving through a service. For us at Christ Community Church, we gather together every week and have a structure that follows something of this as a call to worship, a call to confession, an assurance of pardon, and then we have the ministry of the word and the ministry of the table. In our call to worship, we start with really, we're saying God calls us to Himself. We're declaring who God is. We do so with words and with song. And when we do that, we really are saying, like, our God is this triune God. He's holy, He's Lord over all, and we are called upon to worship Him. Once we really see who He is, we come to that place where we recognize who we are. And that leads us to a call to confession. You will see that in word, but also in our songs, where we are recognizing as we stand before a holy God that we are sinful. And then the next step is an assurance of pardon. An assurance of pardon is once we see that God is this holy God, He's Lord over all, and that we are sinful people, then we need an assurance that we can be right with Him. And so those in the words every week, we would typically read a passage that is a promise that is centered in the person and work of Christ. Tim Keller calls this a gospel reenactment service. So we are saying God is holy, man is sinful, and Christ is our only hope and our Savior. And then we have the ministry of the Word, where there's preaching every week, and it's we seek to make that gospel centric. And then also the ministry of the table, which is displaying for those who come that we come to Christ. His body was broken for us, His blood was shed for us, and we come to Him in faith, trusting that He, through His sacrificial life and death, saves us.